It's so weird. I barely passed both of the exams, but I felt good about it. What's up guys, it's Jasmine, but my subscribers call me Jazz, and you read the title correctly. I barely passed my midterms. In fact, here are the scores. Yes, not my proudest moment, but I also am not ashamed, and I'm gonna tell you why. Now, I want to first give a disclaimer. I still have relatively good grades, but that's not the point of this video. To kind of explain why I did the way I did, I have to give you a quick little background story. So I turned 25, and this is supposed to be my golden year, right? 25 on the 25th. Yay. But I really wanted to hear from God, hey God, what is the theme of my 25th year of life? And I was driving to Target, I believe, and I was just chilling. I asked God, I was like, what do you want from me from this year? Or what is something you want me to know? And immediately 3 words came to mind, and those words were patience, accountability, and family. But the word accountability, you know how when God tells you something and you're just like, you kind of act like you don't really hear him, but you hear him and you just don't want to hear him. I heard the word accountability and I was like, okay, cool, yeah. What other words do you want me to, I just kind of sped past that. But I was really wondering, what do you want me to be accountable for? What exactly do you mean by that? And in the back of my mind, I kind of felt like he was talking about my way of life, my daily habits, the things that I've been trying to take control of for the past couple of years, being more intentional, my health habits, my eating habits, working out, doing my homework, etc. That's what he wanted me to take accountability for. Just take accountability for the fact that I'm in control of how I handle what what I'm going through. I've been open about my depression in the past, and in a video I made earlier this year, I talked about how I've developed depression habits that keep me from really doing what I know I should do. So even though I'm not mentally depressed, my mood is okay, I have built habits of laziness, habits of being in survival mode, which is what I described in my previous video. So elaborating on the concept of being in survival mode, that's kind of what I've been operating from still. It's a habit that I have formed when it comes to doing my schoolwork that I've been operating from, and it's been working for me as far as getting my work done, and my grades have been excellent. But at the same time, I could do more. I'm capable of more. So that leads me to the note-taking video that I made a couple months ago, probably by now, and I'm gonna just be straight up, I ain't take notes probably since that video. And the problem that I realized with that is that even though I came up with a good system of taking notes, I never came up with how I was going to implement that note-taking system into my day. I didn't take into account the habits that I already formed. I just kind of created something and expected it to just fit magically into my day. So the consequence of that was I wasn't in the habit or the routine of taking notes. So it wasn't just going to happen overnight where I suddenly woke up with the discipline to take my notes and get everything done the way I imagined it, right? So that leads up to midterms. Midterms come, and the word accountability was really pressing on my mind. I was really just feeling bad about the fact that I had not taken any notes. I had barely read most of my chapters. I was getting my work done, but when it came to reading the chapters, I only skimmed the chapters for what I needed to get my work done, and that was it. So I hadn't really made any time to study. I haven't been taking notes that I could study. And I mentioned this briefly in previous videos where the structure of all of my classes have been where you get more than enough time to take the quizzes and the exams, if you know what I mean. Like, it's a 30 question exam, a 50 question exam, but you get 3 hours to do it. You don't get locked, you don't have to use lockdown browser, none of that. And so it kind of feels like they want you to take your time, if you know what I mean. But because of this word accountability that kept looming over my head, I was like, you know what, Jasmine, take the quiz or take the exams the way you would have to take the exams if you were sitting in a classroom and they put an exam literally in front of your face. So what I did was I took the exams based on what I knew. I guessed on majority of the questions, and I felt good about it. Like, I didn't care that I was gonna most likely bomb the exams. I felt like, you know, I held myself accountable for the work that I put in. And it's not that I didn't put in work, it's that I didn't put in the work that I wanted to put in or that I needed to put in to do well on these exams. It's so weird. I barely passed both of the exams, but I felt good about it. I also felt good about it because the exams do not take up enough percentage of my whole grade to like bring my grade down tremendously. But I just felt good about it because I felt like I was being honest with myself. And the first step to being like accountable for your actions is to be honest with yourself. So it's a way for me to look at my grades, my midterm grades, and be like, look, Jasmine, if you were to hold yourself accountable to the standard you know you are capable of, this is where you're at as far as what grades you would earn. So the lesson that I learned out of all of this is that it is important to be aware of the daily habits that you have, the daily systems that you have in place, and work on those as well as implementing the new goals that you set for yourself academically. So for me, when I'm waking up at like maybe 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then I want to take notes, read my chapters before I do my discussion boards, but I spend most of my time on YouTube and Netflix, how am I going to get my notes taken in a reasonable amount of time? I'm not. I'm going to end up doing all my work on one day, skimming the chapters for the information I need, and just repeating the cycle over and over again. So I just say all of this to say, if you're like me and you have like a goal for yourself, make sure that you look at your entire lifestyle, the way what you do when you wake up until you go to sleep, and look at look at all the habits you have that surround that one goal you want to set for yourself, and rearrange, restructure, get rid of, change, create new, do whatever you need to do in your entire day to foster an environment that will support the goal you have for yourself. I didn't have a lifestyle routine that supported my goal for note-taking. I didn't have an entire lifestyle plan that supported my note-taking goals, that supported my ideal planning schedule for when I was going to do my assignments. I didn't have that. There's a saying, I don't know it word for word, but it's basically along the lines of you can't get healthy in the same place that you got sick in the first place. And this is something that I've also realized from reading a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's over there on my nightstand, you can't really see it, but that book has been really eye-opening as far as setting systems rather than just goals. And it really encouraged me to like take a look at my entire day and not just, oh, I want to do this and like shove it in a random day on my planner and expect to get it done. Look at every habit you have throughout your entire day and make changes necessary that will create an environment that will allow you to get those goals done. So yeah, that's why I barely passed my midterms, and this is kind of like my journey to being more accountable. Now, this video doesn't mean that I've been lying in my past videos, because I've been very open about all of my struggles So please don't take this as like, oh, she's been lying to us the whole time. No, I have been in survival mode, and I've said that in my other videos. Awareness is the first step to accountability. So I made myself aware by purposefully taking the midterms the way I did, so that I could see, okay, this is where I'm at, and now I can rearrange my habits throughout my entire day to foster a better environment for me to get to where I want to be. Hopefully this made sense. Hopefully it helped any of you. Maybe my experience will help open your eyes to why you might be struggling with your plans. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean you're a bad student. We all go through things that kind of develop certain habits in our lives. So I hope this was helpful. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below if you relate in any way, shape, or form. Check out my channel and subscribe if you like what you see. And I will see you guys in my next video.